Hello, I'm Diane Richard, your host of the Veterans Channel. Today I have the privilege of being at the Wounded Warrior Project facility, and I am talking with some amazing people about what they have to offer here for the warriors at this particular location. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to David and Sean. Welcome, David and Sean.
Hi. Thanks, Diane.
Give our viewers a little bit about you.
I'm David Kane. I've been working here at Wounded Warrior Project for about 4.5 years now. I retired from the Marine Corps in early 2015.
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate that. And shortly after I moved back home to Pittsburgh from retiring from the military, I was fortunate enough to get a job here to continue to serve and serve our warriors, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
Awesome, awesome. Sean?
I'm Sean. I'm outreach specialist. I've been with the Wounded Warrior Project going on 3 years now. I also retired from the Marine Corps a little bit later than the guy to my right. I retired in 2017.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, ma'am. I started my my time here with Wounded Warrior Project actually out at the Colorado Springs office. I worked there for about a year before I transitioned here, and I'm going on my second year here out of Pittsburgh.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So you guys are like, you just jumped right in. Just jumped right into the cause. Well, I want to start out because a lot of people don't know what the Wounded Warrior Project is. And I know, as well as myself, as big as that sign is outside of on the building and people passing by, I'm sure that probably conjures up things in their minds like, what exactly is the Wounded Warrior Project? So why don't you tell our viewers exactly what the Wounded Warrior Project is?
Sure. Wounded Warrior Project is a veteran service organization, and we serve veterans who have served post 9/11 and who have incurred illness or injury during their service. So the majority are Iraq or Afghanistan war veterans post 9/11, and they can register with us, and we have a multitude of services that we offer to them to include engagement, helping them with their benefits, physical health and wellness, mental health and wellness, as well as helping them find employment with our Warriors to Work program.
Awesome. So how long has Wounded Warriors been into existence?
We're going on year 16. So we started out in 2003, working with back then it was just the Bethesda Naval Hospital and Walter Reed was separated. But it's where our grassroots efforts started. And then since there, we built into an international organization. So we have teammates responsible area coverage for every state in the Union, and we also have a permanent team out in Germany.
Oh, awesome. At the military base in?
Landstuhl, yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. That is, wow. International, that's saying a lot. I mean, you've grown from, well, where did it start? What was the first facility?
First facility, it was in a gentleman's basement in Northern Virginia. So what they did was they started packing care packages in a backpack and then taking them over to Walter Reed Army Medical Center and just delivering that pack to an injured service member coming back from the war in Iraq. And it started out as just a thank you. So normally whenever someone gets injured, service member gets injured overseas, they get medevaced and they come back to the States. They normally don't have any of their belongings with them. So just to provide them with those comfort items and to say, thank you, we're here for you, is how this organization came about in 2003. And then from there, the program started developing off of the need of the warriors. So after they come back injured from war, then they needed help navigating the VA benefits process. And as they were moving back home, whether that be to Pittsburgh or anywhere across the country, the needs of the warriors continued to kind of evolve. And so our organization continues to evolve to support the warrior where they're currently at.
I can understand the need to help navigate the VA system because I've spoken with a lot of veterans who, you know, have needed help, I guess you could say, in trying to navigate that because it's just like a cluster of paperwork that has to be done, and sometimes they don't get everything done as perfectly as they need to, and then they get set back a little bit. Or so kudos to an organization like this to help them navigate through this, so that they're not just stuck in the minutia, I guess, if you will, of all of the paperwork and stuff that it takes to get through the process of getting help. So what is defined as a warrior? Who is defined as a warrior? Now, I know you said post 9/11 injured soldiers who are coming back from Afghanistan or Iraq or those war efforts. Those are the ones that are defined as the warriors.
That makes up a large group, but we are a very holistic approach. So we look at anyone who's received a wound, illness, or injury during their service time. So
Anytime,
well, as long as they served after 9/11. So we have the types of injuries are across the spectrum when it comes to what can happen while on active duty service. Wounded Warrior Projects is very conscientious of that, and made sure that there's a net for them when they're coming out to be able to catch them, so they can deal with those unique circumstances that are very different for every individual. A person can be diagnosed with the same injury but respond to it in completely different ways. So it's one of the parts that I love most about Wounded Warrior Project is the depth that we have to be able to support those individuals while they're transitioning and then through their recovery process.
So at what point do you get involved? I guess what I'm asking is, the warrior has to reach out to you all, or do you get some kind of spreadsheet or something that lets you know that, oh, this person is coming back, this person lives in Pittsburgh or the Pittsburgh area, and they may need our services. So who reaches out first to lend support?
It's a great question. It goes both ways. So we talked about, we have an office co-located with the Red Cross over in Landstuhl, Germany. So as service members are getting Medivac through there, we're doing our best to meet them at their bedside with a backpack and register them. But not every service member who has incurred an injury goes through there or Walter Reed, because there's thousands upon thousands of warriors out there. So some of them we are approaching them and registering them. Some of them it's through our own efforts to try to outreach and to reach out to those warriors who may not have registered with us, but they got injured 15 years ago and they're now starting to register. So a lot of them are just going online to our website, woundedwarriorproject.org, and they're going through that registration process and just now registering. So all our programs are designed to meet the warrior where they're currently at, whether they're just getting injured and just now exiting service, or if they've been out of service for a number of years and they're just registering now to get services. So there's a plethora of circumstances out there. We're doing our best to outreach to the many areas, the VA hospitals, the bases, where these soldiers are, where these warriors are. But there's so many out there that it's hard for us to keep up with it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so we rely on just our public relations and to get our name out there to let those warriors know that we're here for them, and that if they're qualified,
right, then
they can register with our program free of charge.
Well, that's why we're here, so that we can give some exposure to the Wounded Warrior Project, so people will know that this is a place that they at least can come and call or speak with somebody about what they need to do and how they need to do it to be able to be part of the project. So, this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. So with all of this, is there any charge associated with it, any expense associated with someone after they are accepted into the program? Is there any expense related to any of the help services that are associated, or the outreach services that are associated with the program?
So our program is fully funded on American donations. Donor dollars funds the entire program, and we say that the warriors paid their price on the battlefield. Absolutely. So they don't pay a penny for any of the services that we provide for them. It's, like I said, it's free of charge. There's no initial fee, there's no annual fee. All of our services are free of charge for the warriors and their families.
Awesome. So doing my research, I was amazed by all of the different programs that you all offer the warriors. And I'd like to go through a few of those programs because these services are amazing services. And I think probably this is just a few, but you all run the gambit of trying to restore whatever has been, if you will, broken at the time, that the warrior needs to have the help. So this peer support, let's talk a little bit about the peer support.
That's awesome. It's one of our best programs. If you notice our emblem, there's a warrior carrying another warrior.
Yeah.
Our goal is when you first start, everybody needs some kind of support. Generally, when you register, you're registering for a reason. Maybe you need to get reconnected socially. Maybe you are working on benefits or looking for a job. So you came as the warrior on top. Our peer support program are those warriors that's transitioned down to the bottom and now helping their brothers. They're helping them as one of our warrior leaders, our peer support group leaders, and our peer mentors by paying it forward, introducing them to programs that Wounded Warrior Project has that can help support them moving forward. Whether it's hosting a monthly meeting or going out with them on one of our Project Odysseys and showing them that these things, that there is hope in the future, there is a light in the future, and using their own stories to help galvanize and strengthen our warriors. It's amazing.
I would imagine that you get warriors who are broken, who are devastated about what may have occurred to them. So this peer support will help them through that as well, amongst all the other programs.
It definitely helps them reconnect. That's a big goal of our peer support program, is reconnecting them with their local community, reconnecting them with their fellow veterans. A lot of them come back and feel that they're removed. They may have not lived in their hometown for 10 years, 14 years, whatever it may be throughout their career. And to return back, they might not have that same network there to support them.
Right.
So the peer support groups work fantastic at helping them rebuild that local connection, knowing that there's people around there that they can lean on, that they can talk to. It's a phenomenal program.
And so you all connect, obviously, with, just say, for instance, when you say reconnect, just say one of the warriors wants to go home to Minnesota. Okay, so you would help them if, just say they were here in Pittsburgh and they want to go home to Minnesota. So they've been coming here to the project, and you would help them connect or reconnect back with Minnesota.
That's correct. Yeah, we have staff across the country, and if a warrior, let's say a warrior were to relocate to Pittsburgh or relocate from Pittsburgh to another area, we would connect that warrior with that local team.
Right.
And get them connected with whatever's happening in their area.
Okay.
Because as I said, this project is nationwide, and we have coverage at all 50 states.
And that's very important. That reconnection process is very important. Mental health support. We know all about the PTSD and the trauma that can bring. So let's talk a little bit about the mental health support that you all have to offer.
Yeah, we have, so our biggest program I think we've had that's been around for the longest is our Project Odyssey. Project Odyssey is a 3 to 5 day outdoor kind of retreat for the warriors. So we have warrior only, male and female, and we also do a couples Odyssey where we bring the warrior along with their spouse or their significant other out. And the whole purpose of it isn't a cure for PTSD. It's basically building up your resiliency skills and setting goals. And we do a 90-day follow-up with the warriors after this retreat to get them to move forward, work on their resiliency skills, because that's what's ultimately going to combat the effects of post-traumatic stress.
Now, within this Odyssey program, are there social workers who are involved in all of this, or how does that work?
So we don't do the counselings, but we do take a social worker out to the Project Odyssey just in case something comes up with a warrior that they may need to speak to someone. And then we do 90 days of follow-up with them, because while they're there, they set goals. And the goals can vary depending on the individual. But when they set their goals and they set up how they're going to accomplish them, we follow up with them for 90 days to ensure they're on track to reach those goals, or to adjust them if needed. So it's a monumental kind of event for them because they're engaging with fellow
Right.
warriors and they're addressing kind of some of the things that trigger them. But then we're also giving them the tools to be able to better react to those triggers and how to move forward with it.
Okay. Do you want to add to that? Anything?
I just like to mention one of our other programs because it's probably one of my favorites, and I like to think of it as like a starter program. So a lot of us know individuals that won't seek mental health help, that aren't quite ready there or aren't quite ready to step into that, and we have a great program for it called WWP Talk. So Wounded Warrior Project Talk is kind of the reverse of a crisis line, where we're going to set up a time and we're going to call you once a week and talk to you. Talk to you about your day, start helping you develop goals, start seeing where you need to go in the future, and slowly transition you to what you might need. Maybe you will need help getting a job, maybe you need help further in the mental health sphere, but it's a great way to introduce somebody into getting help that isn't ready to dive in feet first into a long-term program.
And sometimes I would imagine from other people that I've spoken with, sometimes a warrior can be afraid to make that jump or make that leap, to ask for help. Sometimes not knowing how, and sometimes just not ready, just not there yet, you know. So that program of reaching out and just saying, how's your day and how's it going, and all of that, I think that might be very beneficial to some people. I think this is good stuff, guys. Benefit services. So let's talk a little bit about the services, the benefits that you have for this program.
Yeah, we have national service officers that are accredited with the VA hospital, and they know how to navigate the VA system. They can submit a VA benefits claim on behalf of a warrior. They can do the appeals process. They can help walk you through that process, and they also have the ability to kind of track that claim through its process and just support that warrior as they're going through that process, because it is a long and arduous process. It can be,
Yeah.
and it's not something that you just wake up knowing how to do. So to have someone kind of walk you through that process makes it a lot easier for the warriors.
Good. Physical wellness.
Physical health and wellness we have a physical health and wellness program that not only introduces warriors to different physical activities, but we also have a 3-day health expo where we bring in warriors for a 3-day event where we introduce them to different types of exercise, whether it be yoga. We give them a TRX system,
Nice.
show them how to use it. They go through different classes and seminars on proper nutrition, how to eat out properly, and just to really give them a better healthy options as far as what is your new normal now. What does working out look like for you now? If there's an injury involved, our professionals can show you kind of how to tailor your workout to what your condition is. And after this 3-day expo, again, we give them all the tools they need. They get the TRX system. We show them how to set it up, and they also set goals. And for 90 days, we're going to be reaching out to them to ensure they're on track to their new healthy, whatever that goal is. So it really is a good program.
So it's all about having a healthy mental health, physical health, eating health.
It all goes it's all hand in hand.
Lifestyle. Just trying to pull that whole piece together and making that a new lifestyle, or as you say, their new normal.
Yep, their new normal. Yep.
Yeah.
And we found that, in many cases, mental health and physical health kind of go hand in hand and feed off of each other.
Yes, absolutely. The alumni program. I think we hit a little bit on that alumni program.
So we're awesome, just to throw it out there.
Of course you are.
So we kind of are a mixed bag. One part of my job is outreach, where I go out into the local community, talk to them about what we do, why we're here, and also to find veterans. So those resource fairs, people that are leaving the military, I'll be at their transition seminars, things along those lines, so they know about us, they know what we can offer, and try to catch them before they get too far down the road and need more severe help than if we catch them earlier on.
Where are they usually held? Where are these resource expos held, and the physical fitness? Where are these things held? Here or
nationwide? So when it comes to our different
just
programs,
say for here, for Pittsburgh.
We usually will go to a local gym or something like that to have the health expos. As far as these outreach kind of efforts, the VA hospital may sponsor them.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Sometimes local governments or even colleges will sponsor like a veteran resource fair
in their gym or someplace, their facility.
Yeah. And then we'll set up just to kind of market what we have to offer to veterans, and just to raise the awareness.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it was a perfect question. The other side is I do a lot of direct service events where I'm bringing veterans in and introducing them to different things. So my goal is to connect, empower, or serve them. So whether that's connecting them with local warriors or connecting them with community service projects. A great one is we link up with Mission Continues here locally fairly often to show veterans that they can still give back to their local communities, and giving them different avenues which they can. Because the long-term goal is to empower them, whether it's through PH&W, through Warriors to Work, through our mental health things. It's to empower them to be able to take those next steps on their own. So figuring out where their reintegration point is. So if I'm able to connect them with a local resource that they absolutely adore and they can start moving forward on their own, phenomenal. And then the tail end side of it is the service side, whereas I do a lot of programmatic referrals. So since I get a lot of face time with the veterans, I start talking to them and discover, you know what, you do need a referral over to our mental health team. Let's get you over there. You know what, you're looking for a job? Well, I'd love to introduce you to Sean Harris, our Warriors to Work guy. He'd love to sit down and go over your resume with them. So we kind of bounce all around. Our programs are designed to be kind of out of the box because we're trying to draw on different types of veterans. So sometimes we're hosting a family event because a lot of veterans have kids, but then we also don't want to ignore the ones that are on their own. So we're holding individual events for the warriors themselves to try and get as broad a base as possible to get them in to find out what their needs are on any given time.
Do you help them build their resumes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't specifically. Our Warriors to Work.
Well, your Warriors to Work program, they help them through that whole process of building their resumes, preparing them for work. Now, I guess a question I might have is, just say, for instance, you have a warrior that may be a double amputee, which they can't do every job, obviously, but they still have a mind, so they can still work. They can still do things. How do you address that type of that type of situation and get them to a place where they can work and where they will feel fulfilled? Have you had success with that?
We've had a lot of success with that. The variety of injuries are across the board, but the great thing is, one, our Warriors to Work crew knows how the American Disability Act works, how to be able to apply for the different standings, all that great stuff. But also the American people have been amazing about opening up and trying to hire veterans. There's veterans initiatives left and right throughout the nation, and we're lucky to have such partners that are engaging in that. But it really does boil down to that individual warrior, though, like what they're looking for and where they are. So for some people, meaningful employment is that they have the tools necessary to be able to sit in their house and build tables, and they sell them at local stores, things along those lines, and they just need that avenue to get out. Some others, it's more gainful employment where they want to get right back out into the business world and engage. So it's taking those unique circumstances and building something with them, and then trying to figure out what's going to be an effective way to get from where they are to where they want to be.
It's interesting. That's interesting, and that I don't know, that gives me like goosebumps, because this program is so needed. It's so needed, and there's so many veterans out there that have disabilities that you don't know about, and the part that you said about outreaching to them and just trying to find them and just trying to service them, I think that is just so important, because I know a few who to this day are having issues, but don't want to reach out. Do you know what I mean? Just think that things will be okay. And they just so need it. So I am going to, after talking to you all and hearing what you have to say and hearing what you have to offer, I'm going to go back and talk to them and just, try to encourage them that this program is something that they really need to look into.
One of the biggest stigmas that we face is that a lot of the warriors that we serve don't feel that they are that there's someone else out there who needs the help more than them.
Yes.
But they don't realize is our program's there to meet you where you're at, and it's not made for one type of warrior. It's there for all, and that's why our programs are so dynamic. Is to be able to assist that double amputee warrior that we just talked about, find a job, or it could be someone who has the invisible wounds that has a totally different struggle that they're going to need different programs to help them out. So just encourage all warriors that there are a lot of programs out there to help you. It's just a matter of putting your hand up and saying, I want to take advantage of this. It's there for me.
Or that I just need help. Help me.
Yep.
Wow, this is amazing. The soldier ride. Let's talk a little bit about that.
I know that's one of your passions. I'll let you talk about Soldier Ride.
So, not to go too far into my story, but I was a patient. I got injured. I spent some time in Walter Reed, outpatient status there, but I spent over a year at Wounded Warrior Battalion East. And one of the main drives that got me to re-engage physically was cycling. So when you start talking about Soldier Ride, I'm all on board. I love every facet of it. If we can break out the spandex, I'll be there with you. We got this covered. But it's an amazing and very empowering moment for veterans to be able to. They used to be the ones that were walking the walk. They were the 6'3", 200-pound. You picture them; they're the Spartans of old, and that's how they felt when they were walking around. And now they're back, and they're not able to do things like they used to be able to. They're not able to engage the way they used to. And cycling is so amazing because regardless of your injury, you can get on a bike.
Is that the one where you sit down, where they're sitting down and they're doing their hands?
I personally do. I ride a recumbent. I don't have the balance to be able to ride it upright anymore, so I have a 3-wheel. There's hand cycles. There's double cycles for individuals who may have become blind. They are able to reconfigure the handlebars. So if you only have one functional hand, you can control all your gears and brakes off of electrical gearing on one side.
Amazing.
They can do all sorts of things. So the great thing about our program is, again, nationwide, if you want to get out there, we're going to take you. It's, again, about 3 to 5 days. You're going to travel. You're going to get there with a whole lot of veterans. You're going to be throwing on a uniform, which is our good old-fashioned leotards, right? But you're riding with, 30, 40, 50 veterans in a pack. You're driving through towns where there's police escorts, people cheering you. You're at rest stops where amazing organizations are out there just to show how much they love our veterans. So it's very empowering for those veterans to not only reconnect with veterans that apparently like wearing spandex and riding bicycles, but also with those communities and seeing how engaged they truly are and how much passion there is there to support them. And
how you're supporting each other.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You can't finish one of those rides. You'll have somebody there right behind you, talking in your ear, saying, you got this. You're going to make it over this hill. You're going to make it the next mile. And the great thing is you could be Lance Armstrong, or you could have not ridden a bike since you were a kid, and you're going to love being on a soldier ride as a veteran. It engages you regardless on where you are on the skill sets. It just gets you connected. And it develops a passion in you where people get back home and they start looking for bike groups. They start looking for abilities to get back out physically, where before they're like, I can't run anymore. I can't run anymore. My back gives out, so doing this and that isn't going to be great. But cycling is there for me. So it definitely opens up the road to adaptive sports in general, but cycling is a great starting point for a lot of individuals.
What an awesome program. That's wonderful.
It's also the concept of being on a team. We're all going to start together, we're all going to finish together. As a group of veterans, the camaraderie is very high throughout the entire event. It really is an amazing.
It's like leave no man behind. You know?
Yep.
Your logo. That's awesome. This is just good stuff. It is. I never knew this, And I'm sure a lot of our viewers knew nothing about this program, or maybe knew very little. Again, like I said, that big sign outside as people are passing along the highway, see Wounded Warrior Project, and probably thinking that, oh, maybe they help veterans, or excuse me, they help, whatever, with veterans. But to really know the crux of what you do and how passionate you are about doing it, this is awesome stuff. And thank you so much for doing it for our veterans. Being a veteran yourself, both of you, you can feel this whole thing. And just being able to be out there and try to strive to bring other veterans into the fold to help them as well. This is great stuff.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So proud of you both. Very proud of you. Now, when you talked about the veterans who just say need physical therapy, okay, and say, we'll go back to my example, double amputee. When they go through this physical therapy process, are they given prosthetics to be able to do this, or do you tell them how they can get it, or are there companies out there that you work with to help them get the things that they need to be able to be more functional?
Yeah, for the most part, all that stuff is covered through the VA hospital.
Okay.
Any injured service member, coming back is going to qualify to get medically treated at VA hospitals. VA hospital is the largest healthcare system in this country. They have a very tough mission of serving veterans from all different eras and the challenges that come along with it. And we're just here to kind of help support and fill in those gaps. But as far as getting prosthetics, any of that stuff, we always turn the Warriors over to the VA hospital, because they're the ones that have the expertise in that. Now, once they have their prosthetics and they're functional, that's when we can take them in and involve them into our programs to empower them to get to their new normal.
Good.
Whatever that looks like.
Yeah, whatever that looks like. Like you said, meet them where they are.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, what else can we talk about? We talked about the athletic programs. We talked about My Cause, My Cleats, which I think is awesome. You all are partners with the NFL, and I think that any other ball teams, any other sports related teams, or is it just the NFL?
Just the NFL in general.
At this point.
Yeah, they're a partner of ours. And of course that trickles down to the different teams.
Sure.
Some teams get more involved than others. But these specific players have chosen Wounded Warrior Project and what we stand for on their My Cause, My Cleats campaign. And the support is just tremendous, because they have such a broad platform to get our word out there.
Your exposure.
It means a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, National Hire a Veterans Day. Let's talk a little bit about that, as opposed to Veterans Day.
Yeah, so National Hire a Veterans Day is July 25th each year. It's not something that we're specifically involved in. However, it does affect, because that day is there to just bring awareness to hiring veterans. We all know that veterans have been through a lot. They're resilient. They've been a part of a team. They bring a lot of skills to the workforce. So it's just bringing that awareness out to the different companies to encourage them to look at what the veterans bring to the table and how can they make their company better. And so our Warriors to Work program specializes in assisting our Warriors in developing their resume and helping them with their interview skills in order to try to find good employment for them once they transition out of the military. And so that's what we're doing is, in any day out there that brings focus to that is a positive.
It's a good day.
Yes.
It's a good day. Well, how can the public help? What can they do to give back?
Well, Wounded Warrior Project is funded solely on donations, 100%. And so you can go to our website, www.woundedwarriorproject.org, and then it'll tell you kind of how you can give back. I also want to talk about Carry Forward. So Carry Forward is a 5K that we started, I believe it was 3 years ago. And this year, the Carry Forward 5K is coming to Pittsburgh. So it'll be probably in the fall time of 2020. But Carry Forward is coming to Pittsburgh, and just to be a part of this large-scale event where we represent Carry Forward. If you look at our logo of, carrying our service members forward, and that's another way to support is to join this 5K. Maybe encourage a team of you together to come out and support, meet our staff, and it's another good way to give back if you don't want to just donate online. So.
How would someone be able to get a team together? Will all of this information be online that they can get a team together and all of that to be a part of it?
Yeah, all the information will come online. It's carryforward.org.
Okay.
And then you can select Pittsburgh, and then it'll allow you to register. You can start your own team, all online. It's just a good way to kind of be a part of giving back.
That's awesome, and good for runners.
Yes.
Whoever wants to
or
run.
walk, or however you want to get get across the finish line is up to you. But it's always good to have a team to build that camaraderie and for a good cause.
Absolutely. Is that the only type of donation, monetary?
No, another one that I'd like to shamelessly plug, because I'm
Sure.
an outreach guy and I love going out and talking to individuals.
Sure.
Is a lot of people look for different ways to be able to engage. How can we help? What options are there? A great one is, how can you get us to reconnect with the community? So if you're looking and you're part of a business where you've overheard, we want to hire more veterans, and you're looking for avenues to do that, reach out to us and we'll connect you with our Warriors to Work specialist who has a pool of veterans waiting to get a job. They're biting at the bit just to be able to get an interview with you. If you are working at XYZ organization, and you're like, we'd love to do a dinner, we'd love to bring them out and show them what we do, you can reach out to us and one of our specialists can sit down and see if that's a good match and bring veterans out so they can, experience that wealth of love that's out there for our veteran community. Maybe connect them with whatever it is you do. For some individuals, we've done glass blowing. We got to go down and watch them make, bases for live, and some people took that up as a hobby. We've done beekeeping. The wide variety of things out there that a lot of people don't think connect to veterans really do. So if there is an opportunity out there, you're like, we'd really love to be able to support them, give us a call. Worst we can say is, that's not quite the best fit. Best case scenario, we're out there with a lot of veterans, being able to show them not just how much the community cares, but how they're supported with these different programs outside of WWP alongside what we offer internally.
I know that there are a lot of questions that I have not asked because I don't know to ask them. This is a fabulous project. I didn't know that this existed. I knew about the Wounded Warrior Project. I didn't know the amount of information that I would gain with the existence of this program. So thank you very much for that. What else can you tell us or tell our viewers about this program?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground. And there's one program that I think that we haven't mentioned, and that's our Warrior Care Network.
Okay.
So the Warrior Care Network, we partner with 4 different academic medical centers across the country. And it's also working with the VA to send warriors to a 2 to 3 week intensive outpatient PTSD and TBI treatment. And so you're almost getting a year of therapy in a 2 to 3 week period. And just the feedback that we're getting from warriors is phenomenal on how it's really put them light years ahead of where they were in just that 3 week period. So they go through this Warrior Care Network therapy program with other veterans. They're also allowed to take their caretaker with them for support It's 100% paid for them, and every single one of them is going through a different trauma or different PTSD. So they're all given follow-up care. Upon leaving the Warrior Care Network, they'll go back home, but be set up with follow-on care to set them up for success, moving on with it. That might be, regular treatment at the VA hospital. It could be one of our Project Odysseys, but for every warrior, it might look a little bit different. But we have gotten rave reviews from our warriors on this Warrior Care Network that we've started. So. And we couldn't do it without the 4 academic medical centers in Boston, Chicago, Atlanta, in Los Angeles is where these are located at. But warriors from all over the country are eligible to attend. We will get you out there. We will get you back.
That's awesome. And you have these big medical centers that are a part of that and know what makes all of this work up here.
There's a lot that goes into PTSD, and they're also tracking and they're gaining information from all the warriors that are going through this to make this process better for future generations. So it's very important.
Placing all the data together to see what everybody's going through and be able to see a common factor in it and try to strive to make that better for everyone.
Yes.
Everyone that is suffering, like you said, meet them where they are.
Yes.
This is awesome. Question that I have is, does this program allow for at-home care for any of the warriors?
So we do have an independence program. The IP program is for our more severely injured, severe spinal cord injuries, severe mental deficiencies, injuries along those lines, where a caretaker isn't a want, it's a necessity, it's a need. What we do there is we provide, what's the right word for it? Caseworker, that's the word I was looking for. Caseworkers that are kind of help build quality of life for those individuals. They do a wide variety of things, but some of it's as simple as getting people to come in and do art projects, music therapy in their households. They start building on that quality of life, start building goal setting, be able to see their new normal is a lot more severe than the normal person's new normal. So helping them find avenues to lead a meaningful life. And they do a phenomenal job.
And that's very important. Even with injury, even with brain injury, physical injury, emotional injury, it's very important for people to feel like they belong, that they belong to something. I think people gravitate to wanting to feel like they belong. Do you know what I mean? And that program is very important. Like you said, even art projects or playing music or listening to music or something like that to allow them just to feel like connected to the human race, if you will, and just being a whole person, even if physically they may be broken. I think that that's very important, and everybody needs to feel belonged, like they belong.
And that resonates with veterans in general, just because you were a part of something that was bigger than yourself when you were serving.
Yes.
And then sometimes that's the biggest challenge for veterans when they transition, is they no longer feel like they're a part of that team anymore. And so one of the purposes of our event is engagement and just getting those veterans to come together, whether it's at an engagement event, a soldier ride, a health expo. It's getting them together, focused on individual goals, but also helping each other out and getting them engaging with just their fellow warrior.
And that's a very important word, engagement.
Yep.
You've used it several times in talking today, and it's very important that people learn to engage and that our warriors are engaged so that they can have a quality lifestyle, something that they can look back on and know that they had it pre whatever happened to them. And so post, we want them to be able to have a quality of life as well. So what else can we talk about? Have I forgotten anything? Is there anything else that you want our viewers to know about this fabulous Wounded Warrior Project?
A lot of people don't know exactly what it is that we do.
Right.
So just giving that information out, means a lot, and we thank the public. We couldn't do what we can do for the Warriors without the aid of the public's help. And so we always say, you're not donating to Wounded Warrior Project, you're donating through Wounded Warrior Project to those Warriors. And so we just thank you for being able to explain that, and just maybe further explain some of the programs that we offer, not only for some Warriors out there that might need it, but also to just let the public know what we're doing.
Giving them clarity on what it is that you do.
Yeah.
That you offer. Sean?
He hit the nail on the head. We kind of covered a big expansive picture of everything that Wounded Warrior Project is, but we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are if it wasn't for the public in general and amazing individuals like you that help get the word out to the community. That's where we make our money, is the community integration, having that group fall into line to be able to help support. So interviews like this are vital to be able to get the word out.
Well, again, thank you, David.
Thank you, Diane.
So much, Sean. Thank you so much. And again, thank you both for your service.
Thank you. We appreciate that.